The last days of school. We were silent most of the way home. I didn't mind. After seeing JT's parents, his father so angry and vicious, and his mother as passive as a wallflower, my family's little spats, seemed like a child's game. Daddy was just turning onto our street when he said, "We need to talk about your punishment." "I'd say she deserves to be grounded until the end of the school year," said Mother. "That's fair," I admitted. "Actually, that was more than fair. The end of the year was only 2 weeks away. I'd expected worse." "Marley," said Daddy, taking the dynamite from Red and reckless. Taking the dynamite from Red was reckless and impulsive. I nodded. But it was awfully brave, too. He almost sounded proud of me. "Marley listens to lions," said Mother, and Daddy didn't even ask what she meant. I guess somehow he knew. I tried calling Liz again the next morning, but her number had been disconnected. Even though I knew it wasn't fair of me, I suddenly hated Liz's mother. On the last day of school, JT came up to me while I was cleaning out my locker. "Red's gone," he said. I nodded. I wasn't sure what to say. There wasn't enough evidence to charge him with a crime, JT explained, but my father made him join the Army. He's only 17, so my dad had to sign an extra form. But he's gone. "I'm sorry," I said. "No," said JT. "I'm glad. Things are a lot better at home. Mother's not having so many headaches," and he stopped. "But I miss him too. Isn't that stupid?" I shook my head. "Anyway," said JT, "I told Mr. Harding I'd been cheating in math, and I should probably repeat his class next year. I didn't want to tell him you were the one helping me and get you in trouble, but it's okay, JT. He already knew." JT shook his head. "With Red gone, I'm trying to make a fresh start. Do things the right way, you know?" "But admitting when you've done something wrong," he shivered. "It makes my skin crawl. How do you stand it?" I shrugged. "You sleep better at night." "Well, that would be nice." JT gave me a funny look. "You don't want to go to the movies with me sometime, do you, Marley?" There it was. JT finally asking me out on a real date. After all this time. "No, JT," I said as gently as I could. "I don't think so." "Okay," he said. "No hard feelings." "Good." And I meant it. "Hey, do you think Sally'd say yes if I asked her?" I smiled. "I think she'd love it." Sure enough, by lunchtime, Sally was all over the moon. I never knew you could talk about a two-sentence conversation. "Want to go to the movies sometimes?" "Sure." For 20 minutes. Nora and I glanced at each other. She rolled her eyes, and I tried not to giggle. I had never really gotten to know Nora. I'd always thought of her as Sally's sidekick, never as being her own person, too. Little Jimmy sat down at our table, and I thought about what Liz had said to me on the phone about us needing other friends, ones we were allowed to see. "Hey, Jimmy," I said. "You going to the pool this summer?" "Yes." My stomach gave me a funny little lurch. Never thought I'd be asking him out. "Maybe I'll see you there." "That'd be great," he said. "We could jump off the high dive." "Sure," I said automatically. Then I wanted to kick myself. I didn't want to jump off of the high dive. "Great," said little Jimmy. The bell rang and he started to walk off. I was stupid and dumb and never learned, and one step at a time. If I didn't know what to do, I should factor the equation. "Jimmy!" He stopped and turned. Actually, I counted 2, 3, 5. "I don't like the high dive." "Oh," he said. "How about I buy you a Coke from the snack bar instead?" "That'd be nice." He nodded and walked off, and it was funny because little Jimmy hadn't grown a bit. But now when I looked at him, he seemed kind of cute. I wasn't thinking about getting married or having kids or anything like that at all. Just about sharing a Coke with a friend on a hot summer day. Maybe Liz was right after all.